to say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? We would like to begin this transmission with the following notion that we would like to entitle, That's the Spirit. The idea really is to understand, as many of you are beginning to, that you have in your language many indicators that the idea of being at one with your spirit involves and invokes the idea of a higher frequency, a higher energy that you can utilize in your day-to-day reality to great effect, to great application. Such phrases as, that's the spirit, get into the spirit of the thing, a spirited exchange, give you the indication that you know, at least instinctively, that the idea of being aligned with the concept of spirit brings more energy to whatever endeavor it is you are participating in. The idea to also, of course, understand is not so much to think of yourself as a spiritual person, but more accurately as a personalized spirit. It has been said already on your planet and recognized that you are not really so much a human being having a spiritual experience as you are a spirit having a human experience. You are spirit, and in that sense, simply your physiological personality, your physiological body, is simply your spirit in physical terms, in a physical modality, in a physical translation. So when you think of yourself exploring the concept of consciousness, of spirituality, please recognize that what you are doing is really looking at your true nature, your true self. And this in no way, shape, or form is a denial of physiological reality. Please do not make the mistake of understanding the idea of exploring spirit as a divestment of the physiological reality. As we are saying, physical reality and spirit in essence are one and the same idea, but just different modes of expression of that idea. In the same way that the idea of ice and water, liquid water, are the same substance, so too the idea of the physical and the spiritual really are made of your consciousness, but are simply different forms, different expressions, different conditions of the same substance, so to speak. So there really is no great separation between physical reality, spiritual reality. There really is no great gulf between them. They are only slightly different by a matter of frequency, by a matter of vibration, by a matter of effect, by a matter of perspective. And as you now are opening more doorways within your consciousness to explore the whole idea of how you can pragmatically and practically apply the concepts of spirituality to your day-to-day physical existence, you can take a moment to realize that it really isn't a great leap to make. That you can do so, that you can apply more and more understanding of spirit to physical reality, because really, fundamentally, when you say it comes right down to it in your language, living your physical life to the fullest, acting on your joy, being as creative as you possibly can be, being as loving as you possibly can be, acting in the direction of your truth, as much as you possibly can, living your physical life to the fullest is one of the greatest acts of spirituality you can possibly express. So the idea really is to not necessarily think that exploring spirituality has to involve looking hither, thither, and yon, as you say, somewhere way out there into some great and mysterious dark place necessarily that is difficult to find. But all you really have to do is really look at yourself, understand yourself, and understand that it is only by your definition of yourself that you create the apparency of physical reality from the true existence of your spirit, of your consciousness. So allow it to be more one thing, would be our suggestion. Allow yourself to begin to see and feel the concept of spirit as your true energy. And everything you do, everything that you deem to be worthwhile as an endeavor, then by all means, get into the spirit of it For if it is worth doing, it is worth doing fully. Otherwise, then, if it is not really what you really believe to be representative of your truth, your joy, your excitement, your best endeavor, I would strongly suggest that you don't do it. Because when you fill your life with things that are not representative of your true frequency, you make no room, you leave no room for the things that truly are. And your reality can only then reflect to you the things that are representative of your joy, the things that are representative of your happiness, to the same degree that you are willing to express your full energy of spirit and your full recognition of what is true for you in the life you chose to live. For you did choose it. It is not an accident. You orchestrated it in many ways, not always all the specifics. You always leave open the element of surprise, spontaneity. But in many ways, the general themes of your physiological lives, you have chosen and orchestrated what kinds of ideas you will in general explore. So make the most of this by knowing that you are left as a physical personality spirit with the free will to determine exactly how you will explore those general themes you laid out for yourself. To what degree you will allow yourself to be yourself. For that is fundamentally the only real purpose you have in your life, to be yourself as best as you possibly can. Anything else that you may consider to be a purpose, a goal, a career, an achievement, are not really so much those things as simply they are the side effects or the expressions or the modalities of the true goal of your life, the true purpose and mission of your life, which is simply be yourself as best as you possibly can, because you've never been this you before and you will never be this you again. Therefore, take advantage of the uniqueness of yourself in this moment, here and now, and express it freely. As you say again in your language, go for it. That's the spirit. Allow yourself to be one with self. Live your life in joy and do those things that you know are true for you. Now again I remind you on another subject that this timing, this cycle is of great advantage to you, to the idea of accepting your spiritual vibration and energy. In your typical full moon cycle, there is a great amount of opportunity in these kinds of timings of energy to get in touch with the inner self and open those doorways for the blending and the balancing of the polarities within the self, the day and the night, symbolized and reflected by your particular planet's moon in its brightness in the midst of the darkness. The opportunity to see the polarity exhibited, reflected, symbolized in your heavens by that full bright moon, and to get into touch with those deep things that have been perhaps in darkness, hidden from your consciousness, to shed the light, the inner light upon them, bring them into full recognition, and do not fear them, for they are only bits and pieces of yourself that in some senses have become lost in the darkness along the way, have become forgotten from time to time. Gather them back together. Pull yourself together. Integrate yourself in that way. Take advantage of this time. The final symbolism, represented also by the season on your planet that your particular people in your locale happen to be in at this time in your hemisphere. What you call your upcoming All Hallows Eve, your Halloween. Very significant and symbolic in a variety of ways, in that you are allowing yourself at least an opportunity to begin to even consider playing with the idea of your fears, letting it actually be all right to be scared for a while and actually having some fun with it. You can take advantage of this timing to really go deep with this idea and know that there really is nothing to fear about facing your fears. Have some fun with them and let them give you the information that they contain for you, to point you in the direction, to put you in touch with the issues and the things that have been forgotten within you that do require integration. Have some fun with it. That is what you use your Halloween for. use it anytime you wish. That energy is available to you all the time, but now very strongly in this cycle. And it is representative of not only the ending of a cycle, but the beginning of a cycle, as was symbolized long ago in your civilization. For what you call your honoring of your date of Halloween is, in that sense, the anniversary, as you would say, of the night before the destruction of Atlantis in your history. And then your November 1st, the day of the destruction, and then your November 2nd, the day after. So All Hallows Eve represents the idea of the imminent unleashing of what you say colloquially in your language when all hell breaks loose. And that is why you have now symbolized it in this holiday ritual of Halloween, when the spirits are free to roam. The idea is to take advantage of knowing that even though the cycle long ago may have ended in what you would call destruction, now there is an opportunity by getting back in touch with this energy to know that you're at the end of another cycle, wherein you can make the decision not to necessarily express it in the way that you did then, many thousands of your years ago. You have come a long way in your lessons since that time, and it is up to you to now decide to use that energy more positively instead of utilizing it in the way it was used back then, some 11 to 12,000 of your years ago. You are now at a time of transition and transformation in your society. This is why you are all exploring the ideas of consciousness, why you're all hearing so much more about the idea of other worlds, other dimensions, other lives, other levels, what you call us extraterrestrials. The idea is simply all part and parcel of you getting in touch with more of yourselves, and by getting in touch with more of your own consciousness, beginning to realize that there is more to get in touch with. The more you get in touch with yourselves, the more you open up to the possibility that there are more levels of reality to interact with. So the more integration, the more you can interact in various ways with an integration within different civilizations, different dimensions of spirit, and so forth. So again, take advantage of it. Get into the spirit of the thing and have fun. We thank you for allowing us to reflect and remind you of these concepts, these symbols, these suggestions, in return for the gift that you are giving our civilization. In allowing us to communicate with you through this window at this time, I ask you now in return, in what way may I and my civilization be of service to you?